I was first diagnosed with ADHD at 30 years old. I always felt like I had symptoms of ADHD. I was distracted a lot. I had a hard time reading and comprehending things. I struggled through school a lot, especially in long tests. I was a straight A student in school, somehow managed to be able to do that with my ADHD symptoms being untreated, but I had to work 10 times harder than anyone else did to be able to keep my straight A average. When I didn't buckle in my son on the way to the babysitter one day, I realized that it wasn't just affecting me anymore, that it was affecting my ability to take care of my family. I went to a psychiatrist and had a great conversation back and forth discussing what my childhood was like, what kind of symptoms that I experienced, and it was very obvious that it was something that I had dealt with my whole life. I was the loud, quirky girl that was random and interrupted others, and I had a hard time staying focused. I had a hard time, making friends and keeping friends because they thought I was a little crazy sometimes. Into adult life, I had a lot of trouble organizing. I call it organized chaos because I know exactly where everything is in the pile. I can tell you the paperclip is sitting next to the table and the floor, but somebody else would look at it and say it was a disaster. When I was given my ADHD diagnosis, it was a relief because it was something that I felt like I always had, and then maybe I was in a little bit of a denial of how bad it was. The initial treatment that I started with was a stimulant medication. It just wasn't covering everything that I needed for an ADHD treatment. I struggled with early in the morning and late in the afternoon, which often was difficult with a toddler and the day-to-day struggles with life. And so I discussed with my psychiatrist that there was another option that maybe lasted a little bit longer for the day, and that was when Qelbree was brought up.
Once-a-day Qelbree is a non-stimulant prescription medicine used to treat ADHD in adults and children 6 years and older. Pay close attention to changes in your or your child's mood, behavior, thoughts, or feelings, especially within the first few months of treatment or when the dose is changed, as medications like Qelbree may increase the risk of suicidal thoughts or behaviors in some adults or children. You or your child should not take Qelbree with or within 14 days of taking a medicine for depression called a monoamine oxidase inhibitor, MAOI. Qelbree can increase blood pressure and heart rate. Your doctor will monitor these vital signs.
So I started seeing results in about the first 2 to 3 weeks of initiating Qelbree. It's been a medication that I'm able to be compliant with because I can take it at night. It covers me for the full 24 hours, so I don't have to worry about when I'm going to be able to have medication coverage. I use the Qelbree copay card program that gives me my prescription for $20, and I actually use the 90-day prescription, so it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to go to the pharmacy once every 3 months and have my prescription rather than having to go every 30 days. Qelbree gives me consistency on a day-to-day basis. I've been able to handle a lot of day-to-day tasks like doing laundry. Sometimes things would sit on the back of the couch for 3 or 4 days, and now I'm able to finish the laundry and get it put up on the same day, and being able to balance getting out the door in the morning, having everything, and not having to go back and forth in my car 15 times for getting things. And so I'm able to go through my morning routine without having to constantly make sure and double check myself that I remembered everything for the day. I think the biggest tips that you can have for managing symptoms is just to understand where your weaknesses are and kind of come up with a plan for how to manage those things. For me, organization is very difficult, so I try to find different ways of keeping things in the same places. I just really try to make sure that I have everything written down. I have a calendar on my refrigerator that we know exactly when to be where and what days this is going on, and I live by my calendar. I see my ADHD as a little bit of a blessing and a little bit of curse. I would like to get things done exactly when they should be done on time and not have to wait to the last minute and maybe not experience all of the last minute chaos, but I also love the way that my personality is and the way that I think differently about things. If I had to go back and talk to my younger self that struggled, I would tell her that things can get better and to keep pushing through everything, and that you're the way you are for a reason and you will love yourself. I'm a sales rep for a living, and I get to go out and experience making a difference in people's lives on a day-to-day basis, and I get to do what I love and what I'm passionate about. As someone that has ADHD, I get to talk to people every day that I get to hear how the right medication has changed someone's life for the better.